Shalom, Kahala Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Hakodash. Double honors to head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopefully elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching in all truth, sincerity, and diligence for the sake of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Lord willing, this lesson may be edifying and straight to the point, which we're going to title this, the paths of life. You see, because ultimately here in Babylon, the great America, you presented with many different walks and many different paths of life, but ultimately there's only one walk and one path that leadeth to everlasting life, man, and that's through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You see it through his word. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, in verse 105. He said, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. You see, because his word ultimately navigates you back to the ways of righteousness, man. Ultimately back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is the author of righteousness, man. And righteousness leadeth to life. You see, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, and verse 28. It say, and the way of righteousness is life. You see, and the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. You see, so the pathway of righteousness ultimately leads you to life, man. Proving that, ultimately there is other paths out here, but pretty much anything outside this truth is going to lead you, ultimately is going to lead you to death, man. Real quick, let's go to the Proverbs, the 4th chapter. You see in verse 19, it say the way of the wicked is darkness, man. You see, in ultimately, who's the wicked, man? Esau, Edom. You see, anything this nigga presents unto you ultimately leads you to darkness, man. Any path that the so-called white man introduced to you leads you to darkness. You see, he said the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble, you see. Because ultimately the things, matter of fact, let's go Proverbs chapter 12, it's like chapter 14 and verse 12. He said there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death, you see. So ultimately, if you following after the things that's presented to you by the so-called white man, it's ultimately going to lead you to death, man. And that's pretty much anything that's outside of this truth. You see, anything that doesn't promote righteousness leads to death. You see, so your way might seem right to you because you Buddhist and you don't believe in violence, but ultimately following Buddha is going to lead you to death, man. That's not the right path, man. You see, because the only path to life is through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right? It's the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. It said, Yahweh said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me, you see? So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is the only way, the only true, and the only light, to everlasting life, man. You see? Let's go here. It's the book of John, the 6th chapter, verse 68. He said, Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life, you see? So ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is that way, back into everlasting life, man. And pretty much anything outside this truth is going to lead you to death. Okay, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 14. Matter of fact, start at verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. You see? So that broad way is ultimately another pathway, man. Another way of life, which that way leads you to destruction, man. And many that be that go in there at, because the door to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is a narrow door, man. And you have more people walking in the ways of America, walking after the walking after the things that's presented to them by the so-called white man, the wicked, that they blinded to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, they offended at the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, and by default, man, you know they're gonna be destroyed because they can't walk on a narrow path, man. You know, verse 14, he said, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. You see, ultimately everybody's not gonna find the path of life, man. You know, because America is the great melting pot, man. America have over 100 different spirituality practices, man. Over 100 different walks of life, you know, and many there be that go after the ways of the philosophies and the doctrines of America, man. You know, and there's only a few, you know, that'll ultimately find the ways, the path of Yahweh Shema Shai, which ultimately leads you to life, man. You know. So again, verse 14, he said, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and that's through Yahweh Shema Shai, and few there be that find it, man. You see, so he call out Yahweh Shema Shai for this truth, man. You know, call out Yahweh Shema Shai for the correct path, you know, for the way of life, man, for directing our footsteps in the ways of life, man. You know, because Yahweh Shema Shai said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me, man. You know. So the words of Yahweh Shema Shai is ultimately to navigate the elect back, you know, back to the ways of life, back to that old path, man. You know, which 2/3 of our nation, man, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel refused to walk after the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, real quick, this the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. He said, thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. You see, the only way for you to find rest for your souls is through Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, hey, walking after the ways of Buddha you ain't gonna find rest, man. You know, walking after Islam, Catholicism, Egyptology, ancient Kemet, Scienceology, or whatever. You know, hey, you're not gonna find life, you know, in these different walks, man. You're not gonna find rest in these different walks, man. You know, the only way to life and the only way to rest is through Yahweh Shema Shai, not flipping Torah cards, not being deep in astrology, man. You know? So he said, thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we would not walk therein, man. You know? So the 2/3 of our nation, man, they don't desire to follow Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Ultimately, they don't desire life. You see, because the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai set before us life and death, man. You know, and we was supposed to choose life, man, but most of our people chose death, man. You know, and they was brought back, you know, to this life to receive their punishments from Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, what Lord witness is edifying to the elect. And I just wanted to elaborate on that until next time. It says Shalom, DTA, Bible Ball, Shalom to America.